Anybody not speaking, please go on mute.
if possible.
Uh, let what did you say? Please repeat again. Your voice was echoing outside.
Actually, last day the task you have given. Okay, so during the time of performing the task, actually I faced the issue. Actually, during before starting this class, I have actually shown you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You can share your screen, and meanwhile, I have pushed my code to GitHub. Okay, anybody wants to see that code, he or she can see this. Yeah, let me share one more thing, one small thing, and then I will see your screen. Okay. So last before I went to the break, I was explaining you regarding this thing, right? Like here, what I did, I created one new function where we will send an email ID, and through email ID we can fetch a users. Okay. Earlier on, you will see if we don't give any conditions here in our find query, we get all users, right? And if we give some conditions like an ID, user ID, and that's from params, mean a kind of a URLs. Okay, then we get the particular user ID whose ID match. Now what I told, like now we will not expose our underscore ID to the front end. It should not be exposed. Okay, it should kept secret. But in our schema, what we have done, we have make few field as required, right? So this email ID should always be there, and it's a unique one. Okay, we can give a unique criteria also, like it should be unique. Okay, unique true. So there would be a no duplicate email ID in our application. So we can use email ID to fetch a particular user details also, similar to what we have done now. But and sometimes we need a particular fields also only, because if we fetch all the fields, then it would be very heavy. Our API would be a very heavy one. So for that, the second option is the options, and we can use multiple way to use those things. Okay. For example, if we want to select only name from our table, we have to give the second uh, option where we pass name as one, and if we hit the API, okay, we get name name only. Okay, this was the name which have this email ID. Now you can see I am passing email ID in query. Okay, with question mark something in query, not in params, not like a URL, but like a parameters inside a URL. Okay, like a query. Now again you see this ID is still coming by default. MongoDB I mean provide an ID to all the query. If we want to stop it, I think we have to give -1 to the ID. Let's see whether it works or yeah, it's done the connections. And now if I hit this, uh, okay, why it's coming again?
No, Firdous. That
No, it
I
should be an
think that
array, right? It should be an array.
no. One means that is ascending order. -1 means I think descending order like that. I think.
No, no, no. That is if we short this thing, this field, then it should. Let me check whether this thing work or not. Yeah. Okay. Only email come, not ID. I think so. it might be wrong, but it is something like minus. I forgot that command. And why it is coming? Okay, okay, we will do it on the next day. But for now, if you go to Mongoose document, okay, if you go to Mongoose document, you get a different way we can uh, use. Okay, like if you have a complex structure, do they have given any structure? No. Like like in this case, see, they have some kind of name and then last name. I mean what kind of structure they have? Uh, let me show you what we have done. We have separated two things like first name and last name. Might be a case where we have only one thing. We have only one name, right? And inside name there could be these two fields, first name and last name. Okay, mean a complex structure. If you want to do an inside query example, I haven't made. Okay, if you take this example, if you take this example, this full name contain and two fields, right? First name and last name. Now there might be a case where you want to do search based on your last name only, or the field which are inside our main field. So for that we need a dot operator. Okay, mean full name dot last name colon, mean the data which we want to compare. So that example it has shown here, like if you want to search it through host, which is the last name of our of a document, then we can do it with a dot operator. Okay, similar to that, if you want to do a greater than and less than to a numbers, like this query will pick up the details of an age which are greater than 17 and less than 66. Okay, if we have an array of fields, okay, or if you want to check like this whispering and talking, or I would say, yeah, these two words, any of the two words are in any fields, okay, then it will pick up from there, right? And regarding, yeah, oh, okay, it should be select. I was using wrong word. Okay, it should be select. And then this limit mean how many record we want to fetch. Okay, and this short, see, my short minus one mean descending order, and short plus one mean ascending orders. This select, okay, the thing I was trying to show you was the select. Okay, so this select, through this select we can get the particular field. So this will pick up only two field of the collections. Okay, so in this way there are multiples I mean example which they have shown, and which we can use in our application. Okay, so if you go to the query, you will get to know few things. Then we have an aggregate, populate, many things are there that we will learn in our next classes. Okay, so I would tell everyone just to go here and see what are the fields. And the
Limit is top.
limit
The top.
mean yeah, till
Limit
how
means
many
how many
documents
records?
we want
Top
to
10,
fetch.
top 20, like that.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. Mean that is not top 10, top 20. Okay, that is till 10. Right. First, I mean, if we do ascending and descending and all those kind of stuff, so those numbers can be differ. So limit mean you will send only 10. If you give limit 10, then send 10 records. Okay. Whether it will be a top 10 or top bottom 10, that will depend upon your other queries also. Okay. Suppose if we do I mean we have some marks details in our users I mean user table, and if we do ascending and then limit 10, mean what, last 10. If we do descending on a marks and then limit 10, then it will give you top 10. So it's just a 10 numbers, 10 numbers of record that that it will return from MongoDB. Clear? Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing which I want to show you, it was this select. Okay, what we have to select first. Yes. So now when I hit the API, I will okay get the user with this. And if we don't need underscore ID, we will make it as -1. Why it's not working? Okay, I have to see. I have to see how to not uh, send anything. So this is one of the query. Okay. Okay. Till here, I think everyone are good, right?
I think only we can use only one. I think either apply one or -1
No, no,
maybe
no,
in
no,
the.
no, no. In our app, I have used it. Okay, so that's why I am trying to use it again and again. Why it is not coming?
If you use only -1, then it may work. I think if you without using one.
That's only okay. Second thing, most important part of any development, I would say, these three things. Every developer should know this three things. First is how to debug. Second one, to validate. Third, to add logger. So if you don't do this three thing, you cannot be a good developer. Mainly in a backend. So in backend server, you have to know these two things after writing a code, or I would say before writing a code. Okay. So first thing, let us discuss how we can debug the code. How to know whether when we are hitting here, uh, whether everything is working fine or not. Okay, and and why we are not getting our desired results. To do that, we have to go to our package.json file. I'm not doing update and details. So update and delete, that you can do it from your end. I mean, this would be your homework. Okay. So now I am starting the debug portion. So how can we debug our applications uh, here. Okay. So what I will do, I will write the debug code in package.json only. Okay. What I will do, node inspect. So if you see the command, or I mean you use node mon dash inspect server.js. So if you see the command, what I had done, I had used dash inspect in my code. Okay. What it will do, it will run the code in a inspect mode. Okay. And if I close it and type npm debug, what it will do, and mind it, we can do it in two ways. Okay. By default, since Node.js has been built on Chrome V8 engine, so if you have Chrome uh, installed in your computer, then by default, whenever we run Node.js, okay, what happened? Okay, unknown command. Let me run it from terminal only. Okay. What I was saying, since Node.js is built on V8 engine, what happened when we run an inspector? Okay, by default Postman uh, cache that. Okay, and if we go to Chrome and see here, we get two options, right, this one and this toggle device and the select element options, right? But once we run this command, node dash inspect uh, server.js, you can see we get a URL, right? Debug listener on WS this. You can copy it from here and then you can go to Chrome and paste it there. But one wonderful thing you have seen, you can see here that like the third icons had appeared in our Chrome if we put it in a inspect mode. Okay, and that URL we can get it from here also. Okay, if you click here, it will open a new kind of terminal similar to what we will get if we copy it and paste it there. So by default, a Node.js has been, I would say, attached with uh, Chrome debugger. Okay, and we can see our code. We can see our code structure, and since we have, why we can see our code structure here, because we had run our application in a debug mode. Okay, if we haven't done that thing, this thing would not appear. I will show you both the way. First I'm showing through Chrome, and second I will show you through this VS Code also. Okay, and then we can give our debugger to the respective place to see why a particular issue is happening in our code. Suppose if you want to see if and in order to add a debugger, we have to go to that point and then just click here. If you click here, uh, it will make this like this, and then right side you will get your debugger breakpoints. Okay, so it will add a breakpoint here. What I did, I know, like, when my API get hit, it comes here. I give one debugger here, and then I know it will go to this add user controller. What I will do, I will open my controller, user controller, and then I was logging it. What I will do, I will just give a debug point here to see whether all the data are going there correctly or not. Okay, and then other places where we want to see what happened after it. Okay, And what will happen if I hit this API again? Suppose I hit this API again. Okay. What should happen? See, if I hit it, then you can see this Chrome started to glow, right? And what happened? Where I had given the debugger, it stopped there. Okay, stop there, and then from, if you hover it, we can get all the details, like what are the things we are getting from the client. From the client, they are hitting this URL, correct? And we are sending data inside body. So if you open it, we can see what are the data we are getting from the client, right? If there was some issue, then we can see it and can tell them. And you have to run this thing to the next breakpoint. See, we have one breakpoint here and two breakpoint there, right? So if we want to pass it to next breakpoint, we have to click here on top right. Okay, when we click here, we went to the next breakpoint. I mean, after that execution, it call this function, and we come here. And if we just hover it to this body portion, we get the data, right? So these are the data which was sending, and we can see the others variables also. If we just hover there, we can see the other variables also, like what kind of data it has. Okay, let's see what happened. uh, I have given another debugger point on line number 22. What happened if I, okay, if I hit it next, it goes on save, and it saves successfully. Okay, it created this dog, and I think it saved successfully. And if I click on next, then only our response will appear here. Anybody have any question here? Like, how can you add a debugger in your Node.js application? How can you debug your code in your Node.js application?
Yes. After that, you actually run the command, debug something. Okay.
Yes.
So
That is
how
just like a front-end application debugging.
Yeah, since Node.js uh, use the Chrome V8 engine, so from, yeah, it's look like the front end application. Okay, just what we do in the front end, it's similar to that for the front end guy.
Okay.
I
I
just
mean,
wanted to,
after
yeah.
you run this debug command, how this particular debug mode actually appeared on the particular screen, the Chrome
Okay,
screen.
okay. I will tell you once more. Okay, let me add an error in my code, and then should be unique to, right? String gas required to unique to. Okay. What I did, I make my email ID as unique. Okay, and then so I will delete one of the records. Let me update this one. Okay, and let me stop my applications. So as a user, you have write this code, right? you have write this code, and from UI, uh, the UI people are trying to save this thing. He, he's telling you like, hey Costa, I am hitting this API. Okay, why it is getting saved again? Okay, let us make this thing as blank. He is hitting it from here, and he is getting some error, right? He is getting some error. So as a backend developer, what you will do? First, you will try to see the error and able to understand like what is the problem. But if you don't understand it by seeing the error, what you will do? You will run this application in debug mode. Okay. To run your application in debug mode, what you have to do? You have to run this debug command. Okay. Note that dash inspect server.js. You have to stop your application and then run it in this way. There are two ways. I mean, you can see from here also we can run the debug inspector, but first I'm showing you through Chrome's. So if you go to Chrome's, let me close this thing.
Firdous, we have to add the debug command dynamically, or it can be, we can keep previous also.
Yeah, keep it. Run it in the terminal only. Okay, that will do your work, because you will do it, run it locally only. Okay, you will.
No,
It
no,
cannot be
before
run on a
also,
server.
if we keep that command while developing also, not even at the time of, can we keep that command at the time of development also?
Yes.
Not at time of debugging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meaning test script you can write. No test. I think debug script this should work, but I have to see what is the script for this debug. I think it should work, but I try to run it. It could not able to read it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. For now, just do it manually, and then let's see if I get
Even
any.
though if you are not keeping that debug command, that way that Node.js mode will come to the browser automatically.
Uh, yeah. This thing once you run the debug command, then this thing will come up automatically. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. These green icons will come up automatically.
Without using that debug command also.
No. If you don't use a debug command, it will not appear.
Okay.
Okay. It will only appear if we use the debug command.
Okay.
Or I would say this dot dash inspect in our
Yeah.
command. Okay.
Okay.
This open that. Okay. Okay. So the front end guys told I am trying to save this thing, right? In application we are trying to hit this API, but we are getting some kind of error. I don't know what happened. So as a developer, as a backend developer, what you should do? First, you see the error, and from error, if you can resolve it, then well and good. But suppose you cannot able to understand this thing, that hey, what is happening? Oh, I could not able to understand. But the API is getting hit, right? And you are getting this 5,000 internal server error. Mean you are able to hit the API. You are not getting 404 or any kind of weird kind of error, but getting some weird kind of response, getting 500 response. So how you will resolve that thing? First, you will try to run your application in debug mode. You have run this thing. You can copy this URL and open Chrome. It will open this page. Or the second or easy way would be to open your Chrome in inspect mode. The third icon will appear if you run in an inspect mode, and if you click here, it will bring you to this page. Here you will see some more thing. This file colon dash dash, you have to open this and give your debugger point. Okay. How you will give your debugger point? You by seeing this URL, you understand that in which route or in which controller it will go. Trace it through that. Okay. Trace it like, okay, it will go to this route. it will go to this route. This route, you give a debugger point here, and then after this, it will go to this controller. Uh, give your give your debugger, okay, and then hit the API and check your values. Okay, if you hit the API, see it will start to glow, and then you can see okay, this it comes here. It's mean it's fine. You are not getting error from this place. If you go forward, you can check all the values whether we are getting all the values or not. Here you can see this email ID is coming as blank, right? This email ID value is coming as blank. So you can say your UI person, hey, you are not seeing your email ID. And if you check our request also, we are not sending any email ID. So in this way, we can debug and and resolve those error. Okay. So if we are not sending any email ID, see the user dot save is throwing us into the catch block, right? By this error. So we able to trace out like this error, the error which we were getting here in on the bottom side, it is coming from this block, this error block, and these are the message. Okay, the validation of user validation is failed. So these are the message which we are getting from here. Okay, so in this way we can easily trace the error and resolve it. In order to resolve it, what we would need, we need a proper email ID. So I will give a proper email ID. Then this API will work. This was the debugger from Chrome engine. Somebody who did not have a Chrome, or some application does not allow you to add Chrome. Uh, if you are working on a very sensitive application, then they might not allow you to use Chrome or this kind of stuff. For that, uh, this VS Code come with an inbuilt debugger. It's a similar process. What we have to do, see this icon. Okay, you have to click here, uh, close this manual debugger command. You have to, okay, for a new user, you might not have this launch.json file. Okay, for them, go here, and then since your code will be running on Node.js, you have to click on Node.js. This will be your uh, launch.json. Okay, that will get created. Save it. Then again go there. Okay. 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 You will get this green button. Click here, and your uh, debugger will start. Okay. And you can see it got started. Okay, it got started, and we get this uh, message here inside debug console. Now, how can we give a breakpoint here? You can simply go there and uh, click here. So what happened, we have created one breakpoint here. Okay, same way, if we hit the API, if we hit the API again, if we hit the API again, hit the API again, so you can see uh, program execution stop here. Okay, and from here you can check each and every value, like what are the thing, what are the data which we are getting here. Okay, in request.body, if I hover into request.body, you can get all these things. Okay, let me come here, let me give another debug point, and then to go to the next, I think, where it is Next.
From top, from top, there is some option.
No. Yeah. Sorry. Here
From top,
on top middle, there is an option to continue. Okay.
there is
If
some
you click
option
here,
inside.
it will bring us to the next debug point, and here we can see all the data, like what kind of data it is. So here we can find out like this email ID is coming as blank, and then we can tell our UI guy to please send the email ID. Okay. So in this way, we can easily debug our application, and debug is a very important thing. Okay, for any development, debug is a very important. Whether it's a front end, back end, Java, .NET, PHP. Okay, if you're working on uh, Angular JS or React JS, the debugging is a very important thing. So through this, you can able to identify the exact issue. Right. So I think today we are done. We are done. So for next class, I will uh, ask you all to do two things. Okay, let me stop the debugger. Forget how to stop. I'll use okay. Let me stop everything. Okay, we have able to implement the MVC kind of structure. Okay, MVC kind of structure in our application now, and then you are able to identify how you can debug your code. If you see any issue, how you can debug your code, that also you have able to understand it. Last thing, I will request you all uh, to do a one kind of homework, like how to add a logger. Okay, I would say two things. This two should be your homework: how to validate your code, and then how to add a logger. Okay. For logger, we will use Winston, Winston, Winston. Okay. So everybody, try to implement this Winston, Winston in their application. Okay. I already have a video. I already have a video in my YouTube channel, but it is a Hindi one. So if you want to take help, then you can use it from there also. So till next week, try to implement it, and then we will uh, continue. Okay, because lots of things are there. I mean, I will try to cover everything for those things which are I would say industry standard one. Okay.
Firdous,
Add,
could you please drop your YouTube link also here in chat only?
Yes.
Thank
add
you.
logger means Firdous sir.
Add logger mean. See what happened when you codes. Okay, when you have a huge big codes. In
Hmm.
real world, this I mean the APIs will not be like this. Okay, in between this, I would say 10 other functions would have been called. Okay, function one, function two,
Okay.
function three, and user would be the number of users might be huge, right? And with the huge number of users, their data might also be a different one. With data, their issue also might be different, right? like 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 for example, uh, for this API, for this user, email ID was he was sending email ID as a blank. For other user, instead of mobile number as a number, due to bad validation, he might added now string with it. Okay, and now when we try to do something else, or when we try to make a call from this number, he is getting an error, right?
Okay.
Or in email ID, due to bad validation, somebody have uh, inserted numbers here. So for him, he might not be receiving any mail or any notification. So those problems, the main reason for the problems are bad validation, right? Bad or
Yes.
no validation. Bad or no validation. If you had done validation properly, then you might not have this problem. Or sometimes what happened, uh, our MongoDB connection, which we have done here, okay, it start to give error. The reason might be different, like uh, either it memory got full, or somebody have deleted it, or somebody have uh, yeah, IP have been blocked. Any reason might happen. Okay, so you have seen this thing. We have written some logs here, right, regarding the process, like what happening here. See, this log will remain as long as we our server is in start mode. Okay, what happen if I close this thing, close our PowerShell, and then again restart our terminal? Then what will happen? Everything which was logged earlier, that will get lost, right?
Yes.
And we have seen this client was hitting, was trying to save this thing, in and due to this our application is getting crash. Our application is getting crash, mean it is getting restarted, or some error are happening. But since we haven't stored this thing, the processes, at some places, when we come back, we will not get to know about the previous problems. So for that, what happened, we use the logger mean we can log this thing instead of console.log. We can use uh, this this three thing: logger.info, logger.warning. I would say just warning. Okay, and this logger.error. For example, for example, and all these things will get saved somewhere. It will be saved on any page or database, and we can see this, see only this logs using Splunk or any other tools. Okay. So what will happen? We will log all this thing, and then we can check. Okay. So if we have any error mean what? This code, if we have any error, we can save it. So so whenever we see this thing, we understand, oh, our application have some error. Okay, and if we can store every details of that error, then we can able to fix that thing, fix those bugs, so that for the next user, it would not cause that error again.
So in logger.info, logger.warning, as you are showing, that these things are stored somewhere.
Yeah, this thing we will store somewhere. Okay, like these logs which we are getting, which we are using here, we will
Yes.
store somewhere. Okay, info mean information. Okay, info mean information, like for example, here we can write logger.info, uh, add user process started. Okay, uh, I can give a unique PID. I can generate a unique PID and assign here. Okay, process ID I will assign here. It can be any numbers, right? And
Yes.
then what I can do, I can trace this thing. I have to write this thing till everything goes well. Okay. Mean if it saved everything, if it goes well, I can give another info like this PID uh, user save. Okay.
Okay.
And what I can do, I can add another info here by saying uh, save user data. Okay. And then if I see any error, what I will do, I will write some logger here. I will write some logger here by saying error. Okay. Okay. And
Okay.
here I will add the error detail. So as a developer, you are working in India. Okay. But
Yeah.
but the people who use this application might be in America, might be in other country. So every time you cannot be present in the server, right, to see the error. But if
Yes.
you if you write a logger like this in your application, what will happen? See, here you are assigning a unique ID to every request. If any request come, uh, this number would be a different one, right? So
Yeah.
so for every request you are storing their data. Okay. What they are sending, you have saved this, and then if it's successful, you are sending this. You are saving this. So these are the info that will save. And on every few day, I would say 7 days or 30 days, 7 days or 30 days, you clear your your loggers. Okay.
No, I mean to say that if I write the logger.info, write this. Okay.
No, it will not work. It will not work right now. You have to implement whatever thing it has been told in Vincent, or in my Hindi YouTube video. You can check that. Okay. Then you have to do some changes before implement before making it work. But what it is, I'm explaining you, like for every API, you have to use a logger where you tell the process whether this process has been successful or not. Okay. If I write this thing, then what benefit I am getting? Can anybody explain this? If I write this thing, then what benefit I will be getting, or what happened?
Actually, Firdous, Lager is used for to give some information to the controller about the application, so that we'll get whenever it is running. For example, it is crashed, but to get some information like why it is crashed, where it is crashed, and to make well debugging also, it will help to where exactly it is break, what functionality is failing, like that we can come to know.
Yeah, correct. So here what I have done, I am giving an information like, okay, add user process started. So you can give a unique name, and use that name to the next of to the rest of the logger for that process only, for that API only. Okay. And then what I did, I added a unique ID also, so that I can differentiate. I mean, this ID should be unique. This ID should change for the next request also. Okay. So that through this ID I can see whether the process which comes up, the process which started, whether it meet with success or with failure. Okay. If it's success, then well and good, everything will go to the info. If it if it fail, then what I am doing, I am adding in error logger. And what will happen if somebody tell us like, hey, you are when I'm trying to do this thing, I am getting an error, I will not tell him to repeat the process again, because I already have all the process details saved in the logger, and we can go there, we can check our log, and then we can rectify the mistake. If it's a coding mistake, we can rectify the code. If it's a user mistake, we have a data, we can check the data. If it's a user mistake, then we can tell the user, hey, please update your data, send this thing. In this way, our API, our application would be a bug-free one. So it give uh, a helping hand to the coders to not to be present every time with your console. I mean, there we are saving everything. You have to write your code in such a way that you save all the process, so that your life will be easy. If you have all those things, and if somebody will tell, hey, there is an error, you can check this thing and tell them. If that person is doing mistake, tell them to rectify this. If your code is doing any mistake, then you have to uh, do changes in your code from your end.
Like Splunk.
Splunk is a tool. Okay, Splunk is a tool which will read this thing, which will help you to read this thing and show it like an API. Okay, just like a Postman. What Postman do? Postman is a tool, right? Which help us to hit the API. Similar to Postman, Splunk is a tool. Okay, that is integrated with AWS, where you can read this all this informations, all these data. Okay.
No, I mean to say, if I implement the logger in here as of now, okay. So as of now, it will actually show the error on the console only, okay, or the postman response only. It will
No.
limit.
Okay, for that what we can do, we can have our folders. Okay, since we did not we are not integrated with the Splunk, what it will do, we will create a new folder called logger, and we will add our details here. Okay, add the logger here, or we can save the logger in database, all the logs in database. So in this video, I have explained those. In this video, I have explained those. You can watch and then implement that. Okay. And one last thing, I would request you all to just comment in the last video, okay, which I have uploaded. And once I upload a today video, I will also request you just comment whatever thing you like, dislike. I'm not telling you to give a good comment only. So just comment your view here. Okay. Okay. So thank you for now. And if you have any issue, then please ping.
Yes, sir, we will support you. Is
Okay.
a comment.
Okay.
Thank you, Firdous,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Leaving
Bye.
now.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for this. Happy weekend.